Hi everyone, welcome to Difference Frames the World, a demonetized channel to discuss world affairs from a different angle. DFTW never gives up despite 10 months of demonetization. Google stopped paying us for our work nearly 11 months ago, saying our videos brought no value to viewers. All our appeals failed in the past 10 months. We cannot afford to upload videos daily as before, but we still try our best to publish 2 or more videos weekly. Today, we discuss the leaks of Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines, which further worsened the energy crisis in Europe. At the end of September, the Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 gas pipelines encountered mysterious leaks around 200 feet under the seawater. It was an unprecedented event causing a new escalation of the energy war between Russia and the US and European countries. Half a year ago, we published a video pointing out that Europe suffers the most from the Ukraine conflict, and today's situation proves we made the correct forecast again. Europe has given its full support to America's geopolitical strategy in weakening Russia, Germany, and other European nations since President Putin launched the special military operation in Ukraine 7 months ago, at the cost of its industrial and residential energy safety. Most speculators are pessimistic about Europe, and the European Union's capital flows to the US incessantly. As a result, the euro is now cheaper than the US dollar, a rare phenomenon in the past decades. Germany had already become the second most affected country by the conflict after Ukraine, and the 2 gas pipelines leakage will deal a fatal blow to Germany's economy. As a leading industrial power after China, the US and Japan, Germany has provided many advanced technologies to the United States, including nuclear research, through various sources. It has also posed a threat to America in many areas. Under Merkel's 16-year leadership, Germany worked with Russia and China to reduce its dependence on the US, making Germany the most influential country in the European Union. Her successor, Scholz, failed to maintain Germany's independent stance when dealing with international affairs, and it seems his barren head can hardly stop the already insufficient wisdom from evaporating. It was also difficult for him to keep independent from the US, as America sent 7,000 additional troops to the country when the war in Ukraine broke out. We have mentioned many times that America had already targeted Europe when instigating the war in Ukraine, and Germany, as the leader of the European Union, became its first prey. When Merkel was still in power, the US had already tried its best to stop the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, hoping to limit the energy cooperation between Berlin and Moscow. The United States has become the leading LNG provider in the global energy market, so Washington must sabotage the Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines, which makes many analysts believe the US has played a shitty role in the unprecedented leakages in Nord Stream gas pipelines. The US benefited the most from the incident, so Russia blamed America for the underwater explosions, which Washington firmly denied. On September 30, 2022, at local time, when talking about the leakage of the Nord Stream gas pipeline to bring more pressure on the European energy supply, U.S. Secretary of State Blinken revealed that the United States has significantly increased production to provide Europe with liquefied natural gas and other energy. He also bluntly pointed out that the current situation is a tremendous opportunity to eliminate Europe's dependence on Russian energy once and for all. Russians currently accuse the U.S. and Western countries of sabotaging the Nord Stream pipelines, and officials in Moscow even say they have evidence of Western involvement in the Nord Stream incident. Russian President Vladimir Putin even pointed out that whoever benefits is the one who did it. US President Joe Biden claims Russia is spreading disinformation and lies, and the war of words between the two sides has spread from the 2 heads of state to the UN Security Council meeting. The Nord Stream pipeline leaks, no matter which party caused them, have led to a worse energy supply situation in Europe. A reporter asked the top US and Canadian diplomats what action would be taken independently or jointly to help ease the pressure at a joint press conference by Blinken and his Canadian counterpart. In response, Blinken said that he thought the first thing to be clear is that these pipelines, Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2, were not delivering gas to Europe at the time. As everyone knows, Nord Stream 2 is not in service, and Nord Stream 1 has been down for weeks because of Russia's weaponization of energy, the U.S. top diplomat added. Subsequently, Blinken said that after seeing the Russia-Ukraine conflict and the weaponization of energy by Russia, the US had worked closely with its European partners and countries worldwide to ensure that sufficient resources were available on the global market. Among other things, the US has dramatically increased production to provide LNG to Europe, as a major supplier of LNG, to help Europe make up for the loss of gas or oil due to the Ukraine conflict. Blinken claimed that the incident was, ultimately, a tremendous opportunity to free Europe from Russia's energy so that Putin could stop weaponizing energy to advance his imperial project. Canadian Foreign Minister also responded that Canada had increased its production to export energy products to the United States and Europe. During the press conference, a reporter also mentioned that Russian President Vladimir Putin believes that the West is responsible for the Nord Stream pipeline accident. In response, Blinken described Putin's allegations as absurd and the Russian side as an outrageous disinformation campaign. Blinken said the United States has been working closely with its European partners on the incident, especially Denmark and Sweden, and that it supports the investigation and the identification of the responsible parties. On September 30, Russian Foreign Intelligence Service, SVR, Director Sergei Naryshkin told reporters that they had information indicating Western involvement in sabotaging the Nord Stream pipelines. Reuters said this is the most direct public accusation by senior Russian officials against the West. Later the same day, Russian President Vladimir Putin again accused the West of sabotaging the Russian-built Nord Stream pipeline, a charge the US and its allies strongly deny. Russian President Putin responded to the Nord Stream gas pipelines incident in a Kremlin speech the same day, arguing that the Anglo-Saxons caused the explosions, blaming them that they have begun to destroy the energy infrastructure of the whole of Europe, which is hard to believe, but it is true. US President Joe Biden called the incident a deliberate act of sabotage, and accused the Russians of spreading disinformation and lies, saying the US would work with allies to find the truth. US officials claim that Putin's rhetoric aims to divert attention from his annexation of Ukraine territories. White House National Security Council spokeswoman Adrienne Watson said on September 30 that the US will not allow the Russian disinformation to distract the US and the world from the blatant fraudulent attempt to annex sovereign Ukrainian territory. It is worth mentioning that between September 26 and 28, at least 4 leaks in the Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 gas pipelines were located near Danish waters close to each other. After the incident, Germany, Denmark and Sweden investigated the cause of the accident. So far, all parties believe that the leakages of the Nord Stream pipelines may result from intentional sabotages. It is impossible to assess the repair time, so Europe cannot count on Russia's cheap natural gas to deal with the harsh winter on the road. On October 1, at local time, the Associated Press reported that the previously damaged Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline had seemingly stopped leaking gas, citing the Danish Energy Agency. The Danish government initially estimated that the worst-case scenario for damage to the Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 pipelines would be a leak of 778 million standard cubic meters of natural gas, about 1/3 of the country's annual greenhouse gas emissions. Various rumors are going around about who undermined the Nord Stream gas pipelines. However, we do not make assumptions and let us wait until a final investigation report, accepted by all related parties, comes out. It may be impossible for us to get that immaculate report catered to every party. Still, all countries worldwide can learn from the incident, paying more attention to energy infrastructure safety. Particularly China, a country that imports over 70% of its energy, must ensure that its energy infrastructures are sound and safe. Before ending today's video, we want to thank our supporters and patrons again for their continuous support in the past 2 years. We are proud to have many supporters and patrons with us, and we also try our best to produce high-quality videos despite financial difficulties. Even though YouTube keeps all advertisement income without paying us anything for our work, we still want to thank advertisers for putting advertisements on our videos. Our videos have, at least, brought value for merchants to promote their products and services instead of being good for nothing, as the platform alleges.